this week, Carl, because the second half of our season was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the commentators said something this weekend that I didn't believe. And then I looked at our schedule and it was in fact correct. In the first half of the year, we were 6-2.
Yes.
In the second half of the year, we were 6-2. Even though the second half of the year felt like we were 2-6. Right? Like it just felt totally different.
That's weird. Yeah, no, that's so true. We were actually 6-2 in the second half. It's because we lost to a couple of those teams that we should never lose to, and it just makes it feel like that, right?
The Giants.
Giants was the big one.
Yeah. Even that Cardinals game, I felt like we should have won. What other one? There was one other one.
I would say the Bills, but I don't know. The Bills are really good.
The Bills are better now than they were when we played them.
They're clicking, man.
Yeah.
They are clicking. Think Josh Allen's the hottest quarterback in the league right now?
I think Josh Allen can go F himself, Carl. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's good in that system. I still don't. Maybe he's going to prove me wrong in the playoffs. So I would like to see it happen because I would love to see him beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. But I don't think he's like an Aaron Rodgers type guy.
No, never will be.
Do you think he is?
He's still in his second year. It's still so early.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Bills dropped 56 points last game. It's a lot.
Who'd they play?
Miami.
Miami sucks.
Miami's like,
Everyone was all over Miami.
I know, yeah. Tua, they were all over him. He's been struggling the last couple of games too.
Has he had one good passing performance this year?
I think he might have had one pretty average, but nothing that sticks out. Nothing where the game is won by the quarterback.
Every game he's like 12 for 23 for 103 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Passer rating 60.
A safe 60.
So like, what are we talking about here? I want to see some fucking numbers. I will give Josh Allen credit. I think, I don't know. I haven't watched enough Bills football, but they look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And they're number 2 seed, I think, right?
They are. But I feel like you are one of those guys that doesn't really give teams a chance until you see how they perform in the playoffs. Is that fair to say?
The regular season doesn't matter. You just got to make the playoffs.
No, it doesn't matter.
Right?
Because now teams prepare for you and it's a completely different type of game. Yeah, I agree.
Guess what? The Washington football team made the playoffs.
Whoa.
And who are they playing? They play Tampa.
They play Tampa, yeah. Oh my God, that's going to be
Wouldn't that be so fun to watch?
So much fun.
Washington beat Tampa.
I like Washington, man. They have a few guys on their team. Alex Smith, the comeback story too, is fantastic.
I can't name a defensive player on the Washington football team. Can I?
Chase Young.
He's the good D end, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'd love to see?
Yeah.
I would love to see Chase Young come around the edge, just annihilate Tom Brady, and then take a dump on his chest.
How many flags is that going to be? I heard Chase Young has been talking to Tom Brady. He's been talking trash to him a little bit. I think that's going to be a fun game.
As a defensive end, what is the repercussion for talking trash? Because like
your entire position is about being fired up.
Yeah, so like there's nothing bad that's going to happen to you.
No, someone's just going to say something back and it's just going to fuel you more.
It's actually a pretty good position to be in. Because like, what's an amazing game for a defensive end is what? 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 like knockdown.
Yeah.
So like 4.
Maybe throw in a few more tackles, but yeah.
Sure. Let's say involved in the play in 7 out of 65 plays.
That's a healthy game. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't really have to do that much to have a good game. Whereas like in basketball, if you're talking trash to LeBron James and he puts up 45 on him,
every possession he's coming at you, yeah.
It's directly on you, right?
True that.
Whereas if a D end has a bad game and they only get 2 tackles instead of 5, no one is like, hey, the D end fucking sucked.
Maybe the line played good, yeah.
Right?
It was team thing, yeah. No, I agree. That's a great point.
So go on, Chase Young.
Let's go, buddy.
Do your thing. Okay, before we get into Super Bowl, everyone knows the Seahawks won the last 2 games. We didn't do a podcast last week. wasn't a super exciting game. But they did clinch the division last week, which is exciting. It means we get a home game, which doesn't really mean a home game because there's no fans, and this year is whack as fuck. But it's nice to win the division. We, I guess we have our 2, 4, 6, 7th division game of the year this week coming up against the Rams again.
That's a lot.
Man.
That's a lot of division games.
Especially when your division is good.
Yeah. No, that's true, man. And then we had San Fran this week, week 17, final week of the regular season. What would you think?
And it was an ugly game.
It was a very ugly game. There's been a trend for the last maybe 4 or 5 games with the defense and the offense.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
It's strange. Vinny called me today and asked what is wrong with the offense.
Yes.
And I don't really know what to say. I still think our play calling is at best questionable. I still think for some strange reason Russ looks a cautious. At the beginning, definitely in the first halves.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I've heard rumors that he's playing injury or he's dealing with something, but I don't have anything verified on that.
Why is that something people would try to hush up, keep quiet?
So people don't take advantage? But how could you take advantage? I don't know.
Hey, guess what? Chase Young on the other side of the football is trying to kill you every fucking play anyway.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if you have a sprained pinky toe.
No.
He's still going to try to hurt you. Man, it's a weird, with the way the defense is playing, if the offense has good games, I think they're borderline unbeatable.
I agree. I think a lot of those games would be way more of a blowout. If our offense isn't clicking at the beginning of games, our defense has been saving us. And that's what's been going on.
If the offense, I guess any team could say this, but the defense has played really, really well the last few weeks. They've played a couple good teams.
Yeah.
The Rams are a pretty good team. The 49ers, I guess, were kind of beaten up and weren't great, but and then we had a few shitty teams. But correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're number 1 in yards allowed and number 1 in points allowed in the last 6 weeks. I'm pretty sure.
I believe it.
Let's go with that's correct. Man, I guess the point I'm trying to make is if the Seahawks on offense play like they did in the fourth quarter this past week, or close to how good they were in the first 6 weeks of the year, I think they make the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, dude, they have so many superstars on offense. It's just the first halves have been looking so weird. Like you mentioned, Russell Wilson has been so timid.
Cautious.
He's not running, escaping from the pocket or trying to create anything really. And then once again, Chris Carson only had 11 carries last game. It's not a lot.
He kind of got banged up, I think, a little bit.
Right? He takes a lot of plays off. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's still nursing that foot injury a little bit.
I think so too.
But then
it seemed like they did run the ball more though in the last few weeks.
Last I would say the last 2 games, yeah. But then this game was another downturn. Penny had 6 touches, Alex Collins had 5, and Chris Carson had 11. And then Russell Wilson went 20 for 36.
Do you know what is the problem? Why has it been I don't know what the right word is.
I think it's just
I say cautious, sluggish. It just looks
timid.
I don't know.
Also, it's kind of weird because both Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf broke records this season. Offensive records, right? Tyler Lockett had the most catches in a single season and DK had the most yards in a single season. And our offense is struggling. How does that work? I feel like we're still, I mentioned this last week, we are still not getting our tight ends involved enough. Hollister had 1 catch. Disley had 1 catch, and that's it. Maybe spread the ball around more. Try to get Carson open, make him more of a receiver. I'm not sure.
Is it an O-line thing? Remember we were talking early in the year about the O-line playing really well.
What changes from the first half to the second half in an O-line?
Like, I haven't really been paying too close attention to it to like dissect that, but it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like our third downs seem, I don't know if this is a good stat, like the right stat or not, but it seems like we're the worst in the league on third down. Like, it seems like we punt so many fucking times.
We do. I feel like we're always in the third down.
3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Every time.
Like, man. And to me, that comes from the super conservative play calling, man.
It's
like so often they run play action on first down or something for an incompletion or like a 2-yard completion and then run on 2nd and 9.
For 4 yards.
Why? Like, I don't get it. Then what's different in the fourth quarter? Like, why they move the ball so easily in the fourth quarter? They scored 3 touchdowns in like 8 minutes or something.
Do you think Russell just takes it on his back and just starts trying to do more? But starts using his more legs, start creating more? But it's like the drastic difference from the first to the second half is huge. And it's like that for the last 4 or 5 games.
It seems like the more and more I'm talking about it, the more and more I think it's potentially offensive line problems, because it seems like when teams blitz against us, we fucking suck.
We don't pick up the right blitzes. Even in this game, so many times guys come off the blindside edge and just wide open. No one touches them.
And I think that has to do a little bit with like anticipation and play calling.
Yeah.
Like if we're running deep patterns down the field on downs, like 3rd and 6, when teams often blitz,
it does not going to work.
No. They need to run like quick hitters. And it seems like either Russ isn't getting the ball out quick enough, or they're running plays that are just take too long to develop.
Do you think defenses just know exactly what plays they're running? Like, do you think they
know?
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so obvious.
It's 3rd and 6. They're blitzing 8 guys. No fucking shit.
Oh man. You know what I heard about on the rumor mill with Schottenheimer? Because the Jets...
Get him out, man.
Yeah, the Jets
fucking send him away.
Fired their head coach, and I heard rumors that Schottenheimer's number 1 for the job.
Guess what, New York? For my perspective and for my well-being and mental health, you should take him. For your franchise, you're going to see a lot more of the same. There's going to be a lot more losing seasons coming your way.
And they're not getting the number 1 pick. They lost it with their second win.
Jacksonville got 1 win this year. Nice. Did we hear if that guy from Clemson? When do you have to declare for the draft? Is it right after the season? Because the national championship is
next week or 2 weeks. Or?
When is it? Is it tonight?
Is it a Monday?
It's usually a Monday.
Monday, right? Like a basketball.
Maybe it's next week. Because
let me see here.
Maybe it's next week.
There's so many bowls and so many college teams.
I know.
And games.
Monday, January 11th.
Yeah.
Oh, but Clemson lost, so they're not in that.
Nope.
Clemson
to Ohio. It's Alabama versus Ohio. Right, so his season's
Clemson's
over.
Done, yeah. Ohio State was fun to watch. I don't know if you watched that game.
No. Was it good?
Man, it was so good. Their quarterback.
Yeah.
What's his face? Fields.
Fields is a fucking monster.
He had a ridiculous game. It was ridiculous, Carl. I think he had 6 touchdowns and like 450 yards or something like that. And it college is a very different game, obviously.
Yeah.
Often when a good offense meets a good defense, the good offense wins like most of the time in college.
Really?
Seems like they just put up so many points. The game was like 56-41.
Yeah, all those bowl games are high scoring. Where like you think it'd be the opposite because the defense had more time to prepare for your scheme and whatever.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like in Super Bowls, usually we see pretty low scores.
Yeah, because teams are so nervous to make a mistake.
Right,
it seems like.
Just trying to play perfect.
But it seems like in college they take way more shots down the field. Like Fields must have had 3 touchdowns out of 6 maybe that were over 40 yards. Like just he's throwing the ball 55 yards in the air.
And there's just another, as a defense, there's nothing you can do. If it's perfect placement.
Man.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Lawrence has declared for anything yet.
Because he's a junior.
But I'm sure he'd rather go to Jacksonville than the Jets.
I think Fields is a senior, right?
I believe so.
Because he's supposed to be the number 2 quarterback taken.
Mm-hmm.
But he like way outplayed, what's that surfer guy's name?
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah. Hey, I didn't tell you yesterday.
Let me know.
Do you know why they ran that little weird toss play?
Oh, I tried so hard to not see it, but I saw it on Instagram, so I kind of have an idea, but let me know.
I don't know. Can you look at how many catches David Moore had in the game?
Yep.
Did he have 1?
Just 1.
He did.
He only had 1 catch.
Okay, so they must have known coming into the game. Because I was thinking after they announced it, like, how would Russell Wilson know
that
he was 1 catch away unless he knew it coming into the game and he didn't have a catch in the game?
That's crazy.
He just had 1 catch?
He just 1 catch. That's it.
So for anyone who didn't understand or didn't watch the post-game show or hasn't looked at social media today, the Hawks are up. What was the score?
3? Was it already at that point?
It's 26-23. What was the score?
That was the final score.
Yeah. Okay, so what's it called? The Niners just scored a touchdown to be down by 3. They kick an onside kick. Seattle recovers. There's like 30 seconds left, no timeouts.
Instead of taking
so you can take 1 knee and the game's over. Seattle runs a play that's like a weird wide receiver reverse, but David Moore's in front of Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson just like tosses it to him to make it a forward pass so that it counts as a reception for David Moore, so that he could have 1 catch because he was 1 catch short of getting a bonus for the year.
And the bonus was $100,000.
Which doesn't seem like a lot in NFL money.
I mean, you go out there and make 1 catch and then you're partying, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I heard, or they were mentioning it on the NFL. I can't remember who it was or what team, but there was a D end who needed 1 sack for a $1.2 million bonus. I'm not sure if he got it. But like bonuses in the NFL, some of them are real nice.
But for a guy like, I don't know, is that a big motivator? I know it's a lot of money, but for a guy like, let's say that sack one, for example, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
Or Aaron, how much does Aaron Donald make? 20 million a year?
Oh, probably close to that, yeah.
So if your salary is 20 million a year, and I guess in the last game, you're trying to make 21 million a year.
I see what you're saying.
Like at that.
To them, it makes no difference. But 1.2 million, you can buy a lot of shit with. Maybe you get it and just donate it to charity. That'd be cool. Give it to family or whatever. But I think there is a little bit of a fire to get it. I mean, I guess the way obviously if you're 1 sack short of $1 million bonus, you're going to try to get the fucking sack. Yes.
But like, I'm thinking more throughout the season, how much of a motivator is that number? Whatever that number is. Let's say it's 9 sacks or something throughout a year. Is that like something you have a fucking tally in your locker and you like keep track? I'm 3 away from $1 million, you know, like.
I don't think so.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. I'm just saying, like, do you think people act like, is it enough money to pay that much attention to where you're like keeping track weekly? Being like, hey, I'm not on pace for the bonus this week.
I think the beginning of the season, halfway through, I don't think it really matters until you're getting to like the final couple games. And if you're close and if your team can do a couple things, I think then people start going after it.
It's interesting.
It was like, we were both like, what is it? What kind of play call is this, right? Like, what is happening? But it makes sense. Good for David Moore, man.
Do you remember the text we sent back and forth?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think I said, what was that or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to find it because it's pretty funny of that.
But then it's kind of cool for Seattle for doing that, eh? Like
apparently Russ called the play.
What?
Apparently.
What a G. David Moore deserves it too, man. He has some big-ass touchdowns this year for us.
Oh, you said, what the fuck was that? They ran outside. And I said, man, Shoddy is on some hard drugs.
Because he ran out of bounds too. He couldn't stay in. The clock just stopped. Yeah. But it makes sense.
That was so strange. Shall we move forward to the playoffs? AFC.
Woo!
Who do you like? KC's number 1 seed, have the bye. Do you think anyone can beat Kansas City in Kansas City?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think Kansas City has all the receivers and what's his face. No, I don't think so. I think
you think Kansas City is 100% going to Super Bowl?
My number 2 team to beat them right now, I think, would be the Bills. And I think the Chiefs are ahead of the Bills.
Do you remember? Football's such a weird sport, man. Like one turnover at the beginning of the game can completely change the game. But remember the Seahawks, after their Super Bowl win, made it back to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
And they were the best team in the league that year. And they did not win the Super Bowl.
They lost to Thomas Brady.
The guy who has a big dump on his chest this week.
From Chase. Hope Chase is building up.
So, what percentage do you think it is that the Chiefs make the Super Bowl?
I'd probably say like 75, 80% right now.
80%, Carl. Mm-hmm. That means they have to beat someone like Pittsburgh or Cleveland.
I don't think
in the first week.
Yeah. Do you want to know the schedule?
Yeah. Does Cleveland play Tennessee?
It's the Bills and the Colts, and the winner of that will play the Chiefs.
No, the Bills are number 2, so they won't play the Chiefs till the AFC Championship. The NFL reseeds. Oh, it's not like a draw where you just go to the next game. So they reseed. So the Chiefs are going to play the highest seed.
Makes sense.
So they'll play. Who's number 4? The
Titans. Steelers are 3. Titans are 4. Browns are.
So they play likely whoever.
6.
Who do the Steelers play?
It's Steelers and the Browns.
So the Steelers likely win that. So the Chiefs are going to play whoever wins in the Tennessee
Ravens game. Tennessee
Ravens are bad, man.
That's the thing.
They're going to play Tennessee.
I think Tennessee wins.
You think Tennessee's going to beat the Chiefs?
No, I think Tennessee beats the Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone beats the Chiefs. Like I'm saying, the only team who will even come close is, I think, the Bills and the Titans. I don't think the Chiefs lose.
So they play the Titans. They're going to play the Titans first, probably.
Yeah.
So you think they smash the Titans?
I think they smash the Titans.
And then you think they beat the Chiefs in KC to make the Super Bowl? Is that what you're picking?
I think so.
They beat the Bills?
I don't think...
Beat the Bills, I mean.
Yeah, the Bills. The Titans can't, like the running game, I don't think can keep up with the throwing game of the Chiefs.
2,000 yards.
Ooh. I mean, props.
1,000.
Props. He had, 250, 2 touchdowns last week?
Man, so dumb. Yeah, he was 240 yards short of 2,000 going into the week.
Yeah.
What were the odds on him making 2,000? Could you bet on that in Vegas, probably?
Oh, for sure. I wonder.
Probably really high. You probably made a lot of money. 240? That's a lot.
Yeah, dude.
Can they not throw the ball?
What do you mean?
Tannehill shit?
I don't know. But they have A.J. Brown, who's a pretty good receiver. I think their whole team idea is just to run the ball and force it down people's throats. I don't think Tannehill's that bad, but I just don't think that he does as much on the Titans as he would have to do on other teams. Dude, Derrick Henry had 34 touches. 34 in one 34? Game.
That's a lot of yards.
That is a
34.
Lot. How bruised up is he after?
That's like an 8-yard average.
What, for 250 divided 34?
Yeah.
That's like 1 million, dude. 8.
7.5?
Yeah. Holy crap. Just under. Yeah.
That's high. Speaking of rushing, did you see this? The Seahawks ended the year with how many 100-yard rush games? You probably know the answer to this because you have Chris Carson on your team, on your fantasy team.
Like, so the Seahawks like combine all running backs?
No, single runner. Zero. Only the 5th time in the Seahawks franchise history have they ended a year with 0 players rushing for 100 yards in a game.
Isn't that crazy? Completely different ideology for the team. Used to be you pump the ball on the ground and then it opens up your passing game, but I don't know.
You would think with how bad the offense was the last 6 weeks, and they did run the ball quite a bit more, but
that's what it feels like. I feel like none of the runs are pretty good. Like we're getting decent yards on it, right?
Seems a lot of, I don't know what his stat is, but it seems like Chris Carson's like average yards per carry is close to 5.
It's pretty high. I just think like between his injuries and like, I don't know, the whole situation with our running backs.
He was out for a few weeks too early.
I think he was like 3 plus the break or whatever.
That's probably why.
And then Carlos Hyde wasn't there last game.
He's been out for a few weeks.
Yeah, so they were using Collins.
And then Penny came back. Penny doesn't look like last year Penny.
No. Fuck, that's sad, man. Do you think he'll ever get that?
He like, what did he do this week too? He hobbled off the field, holding his knee.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's shit you don't want to see, especially running backs, right?
Was he a rookie last year or second year?
Second year.
Fuck.
But like you get an injury like that, you lose half a second and you're a different player. Like Todd Gurley, so many guys, man. Le'Veon Bell.
You know what Mike Bell says?
What's that?
Never take a running back in the first round.
No. They get injured so much. Except Derrick Henry. That guy's a fucking monster.
But his career is going to be what, 7 years long?
I think that's pretty generous.
Right? 6 or 7?
I think next year he's going to have a solid season and then we see a regression.
How many rock star running backs can you mention that had a longer, or let's say even an 8-year career? How many?
No one.
Adrian Peterson.
What about like LaDainian Tomlinson was short. Priest Holmes was short. Dude, like it's like 3 or 4 a year where you're at your peak.
I know. And then you're a secondary guy.
Yeah. And they move away from you. They bring in a rookie running back. You start splitting the time with them.
Well, that's what the Seahawks do, right? It seems like every 2 or 3 years, there's a new starter that is like pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's more based on like how good your passing game is, because you work off that, and how good your offensive line is. Right? If you have a great offensive line, a mediocre running back looks like a superstar.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Like how long was Marshawn Lynch's career? 7?
But
he was with the Bills for a couple of years and then the Seahawks for 5 maybe?
12 years.
He was in the NFL for 12?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last year doesn't really count. Don't count
That's
that.
the thing, man, right? So 11
last
years.
year he probably touched the ball 5 times.
Right. So 11 years. I'm sure there was probably a couple more years where he was dealing with injuries and stuff. So 10 max.
That's long.
And then his peak, maybe like 6 of those where he was like the number 1 guy.
He was, remember him in Buffalo?
No,
I don't.
I don't. Was he good?
Yeah. Because he's young and so he's faster.
Right.
At the end of his career, he was more like a
thicker
power.
and stronger. Yeah.
And he wasn't like running away from guys, which is very scary to watch Derrick Henry, who is the strongest man on earth.
And he's
run
fast.
Away from, he had like a really long touchdown this week, and he ran away from the safety.
Isn't that crazy? He is like 40 pounds, 50 pounds on the safety, and he's running. Yeah. Dude, I follow him on Instagram, and he posts like some of his training stuff, and it's next level, dude. Those guys go so hard. I think he's one of those hardworking type.
He is?
Yeah.
How old is he?
Ooh, I want to say 26. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, he's probably played for 4 years.
So he turned 27 today. Happy birthday, Derrick Henry.
I call him the armadillo.
Get the thing that sticks out of his head. But yeah.
I hope you and your Titan friends play well this week and then beat the Chiefs next week.
I would love that. I would love to see that. A solid...
It's like Baltimore got spanked last year by the Titans.
That's right.
The Titans aren't as good this year, though.
You don't think so?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. It seemed like last year at the end of the year, they were like Buffalo going into the playoffs.
They were hot. They were hot as fuck. Yeah. And they beat the Patriots the first game in a wild card, right? Yeah.
I'm going to call it right now, Carl.
Yeah.
Buffalo beats Kansas City
in the AFC final?
in the AFC Championship.
Woo! Those are big words, Denny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write that down. It's actually
going to be very, very close.
I would love to see that. I have no favorites. That'd be fucking awesome. Let's go Josh Allen.
Buffalo's hot right now.
Oh, they are hot.
They're the best team in the league probably the second half of the year.
Yep. I think so. Top 3 quarterback.
Do you think he's top 3?
Right now, I think so.
Is he?
Number 1 in fantasy.
So I would say the top 2 are Mahomes and Rodgers. Number 3, you think is?
I think so.
Him?
I would say like the like right now, going into the playoffs. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't draw 56 points accident.
If you have a team going into the playoffs, who do you pick as your quarterback? Let's say Mahomes out.
So we can't pick Mahomes?
No.
Aaron Rodgers.
Can't pick Rodgers.
Josh Allen, baby.
Would you pick him next?
Fuck. There'd be a little bit of a list. I'd have to throw Drew Brees in there, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson. But
would you throw Brees in there? I don't think he's the same.
The thing with Brees is he's back. He's ready to retire now, and his fucking lungs pop. So I'm not sure right now. But then Russell Wilson hasn't been playing good either.
I know.
Oh, like you say all the time, the NFL is such a crazy fucking league. You just change like who you are as a player in like 3 weeks.
Man, what a roller coaster season this has been for the Seahawks. Like, remember the first 6 weeks of the year we were talking about Russell Wilson as the best human of all time?
Yeah. Yep. Like clear cut MVP.
He was so good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then the next 6 weeks we were like, we need a new quarterback.
It's scary how that changes.
And then the next 3 weeks we're like, well, if he could play as good as he did in the fourth quarter for a full game, we could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No.
Such a roller coaster.
It's so crazy. For quarterbacks, Danny, I don't know, man. Tannehill's up there, but he's kind of sketch. It's hard to trust someone on such a heavy, dominant running team. Drew Brees, we talked about. Lamar Jackson.
Nope.
He's a good player, but I don't think he's a champion. I don't think they're going to struggle in the playoffs. Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield, still not there.
Mm-mm.
Tom Brady.
Mm-mm.
And then that's it. There's no more.
NFC. Who do you like?
NFC.
Let's pick every game in the NFC.
Yeah.
So the Saints are playing the...
I'm just going to bring this up.
The Bucks play the Browns.
Yes. No.
The Bucks play Washington.
Yep.
The Seahawks play the Rams. The Saints play
the Bears.
The Bears, that's it.
Bears made it. I think this, yeah.
Okay, Saints, Bears, who do you think?
Saints.
Yep, me too.
Bears don't have a quarterback.
Bucks, Washington.
Oh, I want Washington so bad. I'm a big fan of Washington. Terry McLaurin, Alex Smith. I think the Bucks are going to win, but I would love to see a Washington upset.
Is Alex Smith healthy?
Yeah, I think he's back. He played this week, and I think he's okay. Terry McLaurin had a touchdown. They have a good rookie running back, but he's injured.
Did you see what Philadelphia did last night?
Yes.
At the end of the game?
The fucking quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, 12 minutes left.
They took their second string quarterback out.
Who's been playing very well. And they were down 3 points at that time of the game.
And he's a rookie, right? Hurts? Or second year? He's young.
I think he's a rookie because he was a Heisman candidate last year with Chase Young. So I think that he's in the same class as him.
So you are probably trying to figure out if he's a franchise quarterback, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you put your third string guy in?
I don't know what the fuck the Eagles are doing, but there was a lot of hate on Twitter and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And there's also their third string quarterback who's like never played this year. And they were still, it was like they purposely lost. That's what people were saying. It was a 3-point game with 12 minutes left. There's no reason.
Yeah, it was weird.
Unless it's like one of those like David Moore things where you promised him a final quarter at the end of the season. But you can't just throw a game away like that. His was one possession, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the coaching mindset was. Like, I would assume it was, we're going to trade Wentz in the offseason.
Yeah, he's gone for sure.
We want Hurts to be our starting quarterback next year. So we don't want him to get injured.
I don't know.
But he's not.
This season's over.
He's not like, it's not like Aaron Rodgers in there.
No.
Right?
He still has
It's a guy
lot
that's
to learn.
trying to prove himself. So you would think the more late game situations when you're down by 3 trying to come back that you can experience, the better.
With nothing to lose. It's perfect. It's a perfect scenario. I don't know. I don't like their head coach. I think he's a goof, and he's done some questionable things in the past too. It's tough, man. Doug Peterson.
We should call Nav, get his thoughts.
Nav probably wasn't too happy. And then what? They just went 3 and out on the beginning of the 4th, right? It's just like, what was happening?
I think, didn't he turn the ball over twice? And
I think he threw an interception on his second pass. I think that's what it was.
And then I thought their next drive that they got the ball back, there was a fumble. So they turned the ball over 2 times in his first 3 snaps or something. It was ridiculous.
In a winnable game, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you think Saints?
Over the Bears?
You think Bucks?
I think the Bucks are going to win, unfortunately, but yeah, Bucks. I'm going to have to go with the Bucks.
Okay. I'm going to pick the Saints and Washington.
Okay, dang.
And the Seahawks.
For sure. I'm a Seahawks too.
For sure.
Is fucking Goff even playing? Because he broke his thumb in week 16.
Oh, maybe not.
And they had that like
he broke his thumb against us? Wasn't that against us, week 16?
I can't remember.
Did he?
Now.
I don't remember that. Or did he not play against us?
Or was it week 15? I can't remember now, but he did break his thumb.
Looking it up.
Is Jerry?
Seeing if he played.
Yeah, so right now he's doubtful.
Yeah, he did play against us.
So that was against us.
Maybe. Oh yeah, he hit it on someone's helmet.
Whose was it? Do you remember?
Reed or Mayoa?
Yeah, I think it was Mayoa. Mayoa. Yeah. He bounced his right hand right off the helmet, and his thumb went way back.
That's right.
So he's doubtful right now. So the Rams are playing with their second string quarterback, is a different story.
But Goff's not that good.
No, he's not. But their second string quarterback has a LinkedIn page.
Has a LinkedIn page. What does that mean?
Just in case the football doesn't work out. They were talking about it. I saw on Twitter. It's like Wolford or whatever his name is, the backup QB.
Yeah.
And it's like quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. And then he had like his schooling and like some other jobs he did. It's so funny. The NFL, man.
Weird. Okay. Then the next week, the Packers are going to play the Washington team.
Yep.
If they
careful. Yeah.
What are the Bucks? They're
number 5.
5.
Rams
so the Packers
6?
are going to play whoever wins that game anyway, unless the Rams beat the Seahawks.
Right.
So that's for the purpose of this, because I don't think the Washington Redskins team, whatever you want to call them, is good. We should just call them Washington team.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
They should just have jerseys that just say team on them.
Let's go team. Nice generic.
Can someone pick a name for them next year?
Maybe they'll do like an internet poll. And it'll be just ridiculous names.
Like, man, I always laugh at kids' soccer team names.
Yeah.
Like Vinny's kids. They always like at the beginning of every year, whatever, September soccer season starts or something. They always come home and they're like, I'm playing on the Dragons this year.
Yeah.
And then Jamie's kids are like the fucking sneaky spiders or some shit. Like just ridiculous.
I think there was like they were like naming a boat in England or something. They opened up the polls and the name that won was like Bodie McBoatface. It's just when you get people voting on things, it's the silly things always win. Okay, so Packers over
Packers, let's say Bucks. I think Packers are going to win anyway. So let's just put the Packers through the AFC Championship. And the Saints, Seahawks. That'd be a fun game, man.
I can't believe Drew Brees already announced his retirement. Isn't that kind of early?
Did he?
Yeah, he said he's going to retire after the season. And they're going to the playoffs. It's kind of like mentally that might play games with you, no? I'm going Seahawks over Saints.
Whether you announce it or not, I think he knows. You know anyway.
I guess. Maybe his team. I don't know. I'm going to go Seahawks over Saints.
Honestly, if you announce it, it might be motivation for people that have been in your team a while, or maybe young guys that you've mentored to
like a last run kind of thing. Okay. That's a good point.
Because I think regardless of whether you announce it publicly or not,
guys on the team
he knows. Yeah. He knows, his family knows. He's like, I'm 47. I just broke and punctured my lung. Like, what am I doing here?
Man.
All these guys are way more athletic than me. Way bigger, way stronger. I'm just like a boy playing with these freaks.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so true, but he's still good. Like, that's the thing, right? He can still play. For sure, he's regressed.
Is he 41? 40?
Bro, he's like 106, man.
I think
aren't all those
Peyton
guys?
Manning played till he was like 41.
So
Brett Favre played in his 40s.
41.
41.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the year. This is the year when people call it quits.
It's the injury, right? You take one big hit and you're not the same. He's probably feeling it, and you don't recover like you used to.
And yeah, at that point, I don't even know if it's like fun anymore.
Right.
Just when your body just hurts. And I think like when those guys have kids too, I think he has 2 kids or 3 kids or something. Mm-hmm. When you your kids start getting to like 9, 10, 11 and they're playing sports and stuff, it would be kind of cool to be around. Especially like a guy like Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and those guys who had like Hall of Fame careers, and they've made like, what's his net worth? $80 million, $100 million. Like, he's not worried about getting a paycheck next year.
He'll be able to get a job anywhere to do with the NFL. Announcing, whatever, right? You'll be involved for sure. I think, but like probably the risk, if you get hit once in the head and like you're a different person, man.
I don't know if it's not worth it at that point.
You mentioned
even 41 is old.
The time away from kids, like planning, all like watching videos, like all that's so time consuming.
Yeah. Especially if you're not 100% into it, just get out.
No. Yeah. Because then that's when you get hurt too, right? You don't train as hard. You don't prepare as hard.
You're not mentally as sharp. No. Yeah. 100%.
So Denny,
who plays the Packers in the NFC Championship?
I think it's going to be the Seahawks.
Week 3 of the NFL season, I called my friend Alex Thierman and I told him that I hope the Seahawks and the Packers play in the NFC Championship and we get together and we have a couple cold beverages and whoever wins gets to laugh at the other friend. No, just kidding. Oh, funny story actually. But I did actually call him and tell him that I think the Seahawks and the Packers are going to play in the NFC Championship. So I believe that is going to come true. Mm-hmm. That game, however, who plays the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl?
That's such a weird thing to say.
I know.
Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
Man.
The Browns are in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, the Browns made the playoffs for the first time in 18 years.
Yeah. And then the Bucks made the playoffs first time in since 2007.
Didn't they win a Super Bowl? Didn't John?
It was like 2003.
Or did they lose a Super Bowl?
No, they won one.
They won one. John Gruden.
Or did they lose to Oakland?
Wasn't it John Gruden?
Oh, let me see here.
Or was John Gruden? Yeah, I think he went to Oakland after that.
Oh. They beat the Raiders 48-21 in 2003.
They beat the Raiders. Okay.
Who
was John Gruden? Where was?
I think he was the coach for the Raiders that time, wasn't he?
Was he the Raiders?
Who was the bald quarterback for Tampa Bay? Who was it? It's the tip of my tongue. Oh, Jeff something? Oh, we're going to figure this out.
I'm going to Google bald quarterback Tampa. See what comes up.
Who was that? John Lynch was on that team.
Was it?
They say Brad Johnson. I think I'm maybe misremembering. Who am I thinking of?
Yeah, Brad Johnson, 2001 to 2004.
Right? It's all good. That was a while ago. Yeah, they haven't made the playoffs since 2007.
When was the last time the Bills were good?
Never. Have they ever been good?
They're like one of those teams, man, that just like the Browns.
Yes.
Like the Jets, that just like every year you just assume they're going to be 4-12 and
like you're
miss the
hoping for
playoffs.
2 wins, 3 wins. Yeah.
Man, it would be so tough to get a coaching job like that. Like, how many guys have gone into the New York Jets system and like so much optimism, meeting with the GMs, interview process, being like, I'm going to turn this franchise around. This is what we're going to do on offense.
And they do it every fucking year.
And then 12 months later, they're like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. What's the problem with those guys? Is it management? Is it the whole, culture?
The pieces of the puzzle that I think have done really, really well for the Seahawks franchise are our GM is a rock star.
Yeah, 100%.
What's his name? Rob Schneider? Rob Schneider?
Yeah, he's the Adam Sandler's friend.
Isn't that his name? I thought that was his name.
I think it is. Rob Schneider.
Yeah. And then I think the owner, Paul Allen, who passed away a couple years ago, whatever.
John Schneider.
John Schneider. Paul Allen was really, really good for the franchise.
So good.
So
dude, look at some of the players that are still with us that are just like key contributors, man. Like, and a lot of players have been drafted by Seattle and are still with Seattle.
They've drafted really well. For some reason, it seems like every year they find a guy in the third round that turns out to be a really good starter. Like, Russell Wilson was second or third round.
Kendricks. What was our middle linebacker? What was
Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner. People saying like Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson.
DK was late second round.
Late second round.
I think Russ was third round. I think Lockett was late too.
Lots of guys. Lots of good picks.
Lots.
Denny, I got to say something so the Bills Mafia doesn't get mad at me, but they were good from 1988 to 93 last time. Oh, a while ago.
27 years. Yeah. It's been 27 years. No wonder we don't remember. We were 4 last time they made. Is that when they made the playoffs?
Dude, they lost the Super Bowl 4 years in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they won one?
Doesn't look like it. No.
Man, how devastating would that be?
Lost Super Bowl to the Giants first year, Super Bowl to the Redskins the next year. They lost to the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys again. That's devastating.
Man, I did not know that. 4 in a row. That's got to be a record. Good for you for making the final that many times, but geez.
Yeah. I'm going to win one. All right. We got the Rams.
In any other sport, can you think of a team that made the final that many times?
And lost?
The Utah Jazz.
That's not their fault. One person makes such a big difference.
They were only in basketball, yeah. Weren't they only twice?
Twice.
They were 97,
96, 7, 8? Or
the last maybe? 2. I think it was the last 2, right? Because then the year before that, 95, 96 was the Sonics? No, maybe the Sonics were earlier. Sonics were like 92, 93. Maybe.
You're right. So the Jazz was only 7, 8?
Yeah.
Now, who was 96?
I can't remember. Should I guess?
You're right. It
was the Sonics?
Yeah.
And then one of them was the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, against the...
Was that the first one? 91?
What do you mean?
The Bulls' first win?
Yeah, 91, 92, 93.
No, is that when they played the Rockets?
Oh, 91. It was Lakers. It was Magic, wasn't it?
Lakers were the first one?
His final.
Then, so who's 93, 94?
Oh, I love this history. I'll fucking sit here and do this all day. So in 92, it was the Trailblazers.
I forgot Portland was good.
Clyde Drexler, right?
Clyde.
And then
didn't he also play for Houston?
Yeah.
I remembered
did.
Clyde,
He did.
and I thought Houston, they beat him. Maybe he played for Houston like the late 80s, then went to
I
Portland.
think he wasn't as good when he played for Houston. It was later on. His
it was the
prime
other
years
way?
were with yeah. Yeah, he played for Houston for sure.
Yeah. Okay, then who was the sixth one? 94. So it was Lakers, then Portland, then who?
And then Seattle for 93.
So they beat Seattle twice.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then in 94's finals was Knicks and the Rockets because the Bulls didn't make it. Or was
Right.
Jordan gone already? I can't remember.
He retired. He took a year and a half off, remember?
That was that year, right?
He went to play
That's
baseball.
correct.
For
And he came
Whatever,
back like
Chicago
halfway
Fire
through
team.
95 or something.
came back halfway through wearing number 45. And I think they made the playoffs that year, but he wasn't as good. He wasn't as in good shape and stuff.
And then the 95 finals was the Rockets versus the Magic. Who was on the Magic?
Was that like Shaq's rookie year? Early?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Because when did he play till? He played till like 2012?
He played, I think. No. Well, he went to the Lakers in 2000.
Oh, that early?
Yeah.
Shit. So he only played till like 2008 maybe? Yeah. So
Okay.
that might have been early Shaq
I think so.
in Orlando.
That's crazy.
That was him and Penny Hardaway.
Mm-hmm. Man, that must have been so
I had a
fun.
Penny Hardaway jersey when I was a kid.
So Shaq's first year was 92. So yeah, he was 3 years in the league already, 95. Damn, Shaq's
I like
old.
Penny.
Yeah. Oh, that was a long one, Denny. Rams next week.
Are you surprised I knew that?
A little bit. But you're a big Jordan guy, right? So you know kind of that era in the basketball really well back then.
When I was a kid. Okay, we need to pick Super Bowl. So you think Chiefs and Green Bay or Seattle?
I think it's going to be really hard for Seattle. I think Green Bay is going to take it. I think
Because it's going to be in Green Bay
Yeah,
too.
it
so
is, 'cause they got the
it'll be like
first
minus
seed.
208.
it's going to be snowing.
Fuck.
I think Green Bay has the advantage in that game.
So who wins the Super Bowl? KC, Green Bay.
Fuck. I have no idea. I say flip a coin, honestly. They're so well matched. I mean, they're both offensive powerhouses. I think it's whoever's defense steps up and makes a couple plays.
It's in Tampa, right? The Super Bowl this year?
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure it's in Tampa. So they have an outdoor stadium, I think, but it's warm. It'll be like 20 degrees.
Tampa, yeah. Yeah, it'll be warmer there. At least maybe a little rainy, but not like Green Bay, nowhere near.
Maybe they have an indoor stadium. I don't know Tampa's.
Let me see if it's closed here. But what do you think?
I
Do you
think I'm picking the other two teams, Carl. I'm picking
Okay, I like
Buffalo
that.
upset the Kansas City Chiefs,
Yeah.
and Seattle goes into Green Bay and wins a tough game, like 23,
Grinder kind of
23, 18 and a half.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the Super Bowl, the Seahawks. Carl, this is a Seahawks podcast. The Seahawks win their second Super Bowl ever.
Over the Bills?
And in the press conference, Russell Wilson says, I am only returning if you get rid of Brian Schottenheimer.
And they'd be like,
And then
he's already
next
on the
up
Jets.
is Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider comes onto the mic after, and he announces,
His new movie with
that-
Adam Sandler.
and then announces that Schottenheimer has been removed from the Seahawks organization, and he must
you-
also fly his own plane home.
I thought
He's
you were gonna
not
say
allowed
from
on
the
the team plane.
NFL. He's just gone.
We're gonna put him down to high school. Rob Schneider's going to come out and he's going to tell everyone
All right, kids.
that his kid, who's now 16, is playing on the JV team at Washington High School, and the new head coach is Mr. Brian Schottenheimer.
Although Rob Schneider would make it a lot of fun.
I like it.
Cool. I think we've got it, Denny. We
Love you guys. Go
picks.
Hawks. Big matchup. Saturday, 1:30 p.m. in Seattle. I'm going to try to sneak down there. Anyone that wants to come, let me know.
A couple gates you got to get by.
Yeah. I got an invisibility cloak for my car.
Oh, that's
We're
easy.
just going to drive through. It's going to be fun. And I know a couple of the popcorn vendors at the stadium that are going to let me in the back door. Got it all figured out, Carl.
Denny knows the DJ. Cool.
I called Rob Schneider. He's happy to host me in his GM box.
Oh my God. Good stuff.
Do those guys get to watch the game? Anyone that's involved in the team can go in?
I think it depends on the COVID protocols and what the stadium and what they're doing. I don't know.
Like, I assume the owners and the GMs are in a box watching the game.
I think they have that option, but I've heard of GM staying and just watching from home too.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I can't remember them ever flashing to him like live and showing him. They always show like old photos and videos.
He's probably like wearing a mask now. Like it's not the same.
It's weird.
Not the same.
All right, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.